Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. When it comes to magazine reviews, they can be sort of boring. We live in a time now in the gun industry that really crappy mags, like experimental mags, things that, like the newest mag on the market, right, that comes out and it's kind of shit, especially if it's at a low price. Like those days of making videos like finding the new best mag haven't really been a thing for some time, in my opinion. And who would have thought that the company probably most well known for making the best AK mags in the market, at least the best polymer AK mags in the market, in my opinion, would be the ones to come out of nowhere and dominate the Glock market. That's right. XTech Magazines now has a full line of Glock, Glock 19, Glock 17, Glock 43 type magazines, slimline mags, and double stack mags on their website. And it is my opinion, for the people that don't want to watch a full video, that at the price point of these, there's no more reason to buy OEM Glock. So let's get into these mags. Now, it is commonly said for years and years and years that OEM mags are the best mags to get for any firearm, with the exception of ARs, apparently, because ARs don't have OEM magazines. But when it comes to like Smith & Wesson, Glock, things like that, it's the mags made by the company that is designed to run with has long time been like the get OEM if you want the most reliable for that particular platform. And while other companies have come and gone, and many are still here, men too, who came out with the worst mags ever known to man, like Magpul, their GL9 or whatever they're called, their Glock mags, which are mediocre on their best day. KCI Korean mags have long time been the budget staple of Glock magazines. ETS has had good and bad luck with their magazines over the past, but now I think XTech has found the secret sauce to be the main primary competition against OEM Glock mags. And at a really good price. What has XTech come out with for the Glock, and how is it dominating the Glock magazine industry? Well, let's start with slimline stuff. Let's start with the 43. So this is the 43 mag extension. Now, all of their mag extensions come with the spring and base plate, and this is how it looks on the gun. It really gives that, it really gives people with big meat hooks a nice purchase for something like the 43, because with a flat base plate, it is otherwise pretty small, right? Even with the Glock plus 1 or 2, I can't remember what it comes with. I think plus 2. Even with the OEM Glock plus 2, it's still a bit small for somebody like hands my size. So it's very comfortable. It follows these lines really nicely on the front and back straps of the gun, and it of course is the same width as it. And it also carries the same grip texture. So they have, for lack of better words, copied the Glock grip texture on the OEM frame down into their mag extension, which I think is pretty cool, as opposed to having something that is just that aesthetically looks different. Aesthetically, you go from either no grip texture or a different grip texture up into something that's completely different. So I think aesthetically that was a good choice. Now, it really doesn't matter how it looks if it doesn't function well. Well, like everything else XTech that I've ever owned, it functions fine. It seats fine. I have not had any shooting reliability issues with it. Strips out fine, fits good, fills the gap the way it's supposed to fill.
That's what she said.
It just, no complaints whatsoever. And it takes something very small like the 43 and makes it really usable for somebody with giant dick beaters. Now, there is a whole list of products as it pertains to the G19 and G17 and G26 lines of their magazines. Starting with G26, now I don't have a G26 to show these on the gun for you, but they have the grip extensions right? So you can use this one is the 15 round to 26, so a G19 mag to a G26. This is the G17 mag to the 26, so the 17 round to 26 grip fillers, so to speak, that you put on the magazine. So they're magazine sleeves, as you can see from the picture there, turning your G26 similar to what the 43 extension does. So you can fit a full grip on it. Now this is what the G19 to G17 mag sleeve looks like on a 17 round XTech Glock magazine, which we're going to get into the magazine itself here in a second. But OEM Gen 3 Glock frame, and that is the grip filler for that. Now they've done a little bit different. The grip pattern is very similar. It has some heavy lines in the back here, nothing in the front, but it again, for people that like a G17, if you're a fan of like a G45 or 19X, this sort of fills that void without having to buy a new gun. Now since we're on the G19 mags, here are the G19 mags. I've used the absolute crap out of them. Matter of fact, I've had these for months at this point, and they are primarily the mags I've been using. So anything you've seen me shoot with a Glock mag in the last few months at least has been with the XTech magazines. So this is what it looks like in your OEM frame, and they do fit things like my grit grips here with a magwell. This brings us to the G17 mags. Very much the same thing. It's just a 17 round mag. Again, I've used the shit out of it, and it has very much the same thing, right? So just like any other 17 mag, it'll stick out of the bottom of anything that with a G19 grip, but that's why these mag sleeves exist. Then we get into the big boy. So this is the 15 round mag, XTech mag, with their +5 base plate on it. So this makes for 20 total rounds. Now it does fit with a magwell, all right, in my grit grips frame, and this is how it looks on an OEM without a magwell OEM Glock frame. So that is a lot of capacity for something that would normally be something like 15 rounds. They really have covered all of the bases as it pertains to the Glock market. And then reliability on something like this, I've had zero problems, which is probably the biggest issue when it comes to extended base plate mags. You end up having some feeding issues when it gets down to the last few rounds because the spring tension isn't there, especially some of these companies that don't offer you a good spring with their plus whatever magazines. Some don't offer spring at all. All of XTech's magazine base plates come with a spring, and it works very well. I talked earlier about price. I talked earlier about other companies that offer magazines at a very discounted or low price. However, they're not always known for being really good mags, right? Especially not ones that compete with OEM. So what do XTech's mags come in at for price? To the YouTube censors,
you suck.
I'm not selling any regulated goods. I'm not selling anything illegal. I'm just informing the viewer the best way possible for educational reasons in order for them to make the most informed purchase that they could possibly make if they decide to purchase something like this. Now you can buy these mags as individuals or in 2-packs, like these are the G19 mags.
Yeah, I was wondering how much something like this went for.
In a 2-pack, they come out to 21-ish, 21 and some change each.
Get the fuck out of here. No, I cannot. It's serious.
That is incredibly good price for something that I, based off my experience, would put up against an OEM Glock mag any day of the week. The number has left my head, but the entire G19 mag with the +5 base plate installed on it comes in at a lower price than what many companies charge for just a base plate.
You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
So XTech has figured out how to make a bulletproof magazine that is extraordinarily reliable, aesthetically pleasing, works in anything that I put it in, whether it's a pistol or a PCC, at a discounted price from what OEM is. There's nothing to be said negative. I can't think of like but XYZ. There's no but there. And on top of it all, if you happen to buy from them, you're supporting great people, a great company, and local company. They're right here in Arizona. They're an hour and a half north of me in Phoenix. So there will be a link in the pinned comment for XTech. Go check them out. I thank everybody out there for watching. Thank you to XTech for sending all this stuff out to the channel. And we'll talk to everybody later.